Today we're going to make the first recipe I ever learned. It's an easy layered ground beef casserole that's a big family pleaser, so let's get started. To kick this recipe off, we're going to add 12 ounces of wide egg noodles to a pot of generously salted boiling water, and we're going to let that cook just until it's al dente. So while our noodles are boiling, we're going to go ahead and brown our beef. And we're gonna add in some yellow onion, but I like to add in this diced yellow onion before the beef is completely browned. And that way, the onion has time to cook down while the meat's still cooking, and we don't overcook the meat. So when those onions have cooked down, just to where they're starting to get translucent, you can go ahead and drain that meat so any kind of excess liquid or fat can be drained off. Then you can add the meat back to the skillet, and we can add our seasonings. Now that we have cooked and drained our pasta and our ground beef, here are a few pro tips. We talked about the pasta being just al dente, meaning just a little bit firm when we take it out of the boiling water. And we want to do that so that the pasta doesn't get overcooked and mushy. It will still cook in the oven as the casserole bakes. The same goes for the browned ground beef. We put the onions in early so that the onions cook down while the beef is browning. It'll also continue to cook in the oven as the casserole bakes. Okay, so we're right here at our last few steps, making our sauce and grating our cheese. Now this sauce is where the magic happens. It is made with tomato sauce, just a 15-ounce can of regular tomato sauce, and then cream of mushroom soup. Now, if you don't want to use the canned cream of mushroom soup, you can make your own. I do that a lot, but another good substitute is sour cream. But the sauce is really what makes this dish. It's a rich, creamy tomato sauce with the mushrooms just there in the background, and it's so delicious. Now we're going to grate 8 ounces of mild cheddar cheese. This recipe originally used American cheese, you know, the cheese squares in the plastic. But we're giving it a little upgrade because we just don't eat those cheese squares anymore. And a mild cheddar cheese is very similar to American cheese in taste. And when you grate your own cheese, you get the best, creamiest melt. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble our casserole. We're gonna take a 2.5 to 3-quart casserole dish, spray it lightly with some non-cooking spray, and we're gonna put in half of our egg noodles right there on the bottom of the dish. Cover it completely. Probably about 4 scoops here. Oh, we've got to run away. And then I'm gonna follow that up with half of the ground beef. 1 more scoop. And then here is the best part, that sauce. So half of the sauce, and we might give it a little spread or two just to make sure it gets all down in those nooks and crannies. That's one of the good things about the egg noodles in this dish, is it has all of those little spirals for the sauce to get into. And then half of the cheese. Now all that's left is to pop it in a 350 oven and let it bake for 30 minutes. So we've taken our casserole out of the oven and just look at all of that melted cheese and sauce. It's gonna be delicious. But let's talk about a few serving tips, because we want this recipe to be a success from the kitchen all the way to the table. So the first thing you need to do is let the casserole sit for about 5 minutes. It helps it set and all of the juices come back together so you have a nice serving. Then we want to top it with a little bit of parsley. It adds great color, but also some more flavor. And then we're going to serve this casserole with either a green salad, green beans, or some broccoli would be good, and a slice of really delicious garlic bread. Look at that cheese pool. We're making a little bit of mess there, but that's how you know it's going to be delicious. And a little salad on there, that garlic bread. So you know that when you bring this to the table, your family is gonna be so excited. I can't wait to see this recipe in your kitchen and on your table really soon.